Well, hello there. This is Shiva, and I'm going to talk about FPX. I hope everybody had a good Black Friday and took advantage of the sales. My girlfriend sure did because my back is really hurting me right now. She had to buy the biggest, heaviest television stand in history. Okay, anyway, I'm just here to bring you up to date with my progress or lack of progress because last couple of days, I've been sitting in a chair with a heating pad. But I have, been giving it a little bit of thought. First off, let's call up my table. And as you can see, there's no spinner here. I'm working on the spinner code. I had some problems. I'm using Recoc's code, but I screwed up somewhere because there's something not working with it, and it should be working. The timer isn't switching off on it, and so I figure maybe I've got some of the older code, and so I have to make sure I've got the newest version before I mess around with it. But as you can see, no spinner. It will be there soon. Okay, and in here, there isn't really much to show other than really coding stuff that's very long and boring. But there isn't really all that much that's gone on here. I am working on another code here, and if you notice, I am starting to change my ad scoring events. I'm adding all these points now, and everything is going to be tied into the ad scoring event. So I maybe should explain a couple of things. I'm sure people have been wondering about why I'm doing the things I'm doing, and it's a very simple reason. Most people, when they do a game in Future Pinball, just does one complete game, and everything is coded exclusively for that game. FPX was designed to allow you to quite literally design an infinite amount of games. And so the script has to be very generic and very much an all-purpose thing. On top of it, it's sort of aimed a lot more towards the beginner. I don't expect actual people who can code to actually use my program. They don't need to. They can code their own games. They don't need to use this program at all. But I do expect that most of the people, the vast majority, are people who don't want to code, don't know how to code, don't really care to take the time to learn to code. They just want to make a pinball game and play it in as short as time as possible. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm rearranging everything to try and make it as easy as possible and to shorten the time. I figure my target is you could take, once I have all of the bolts done and add some more, I figure it should take you maybe 15-20 minutes to set up everything in your editor, and then whatever time you need afterwards to modify or change some of the design elements if you want. But that's the goal. The problem is that this script at the present moment is over 10,000 lines of code, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And the problem with that is I have to be able to keep track of stuff. And as you can see, there's a lot of code here, isn't there? And so even compressed, it's at 10,000 lines. And as you can see, this would, if this was uncompressed, this would be a line, that would be a line, that would be a line, that would be a line. If I uncompress this, easily 25,000 lines of code. So you can understand that it's getting a little tough to be able to find things. So the big overhaul with FPX for this next version is not really so much what you see, is what you don't see, and that will all be the script. First off, nearly most of the script will be using external files. I think stuff like this, if you're a beginner, you look at this and you're just going like, what the hell is this? There's no way in hell I can do this. You shouldn't be able to have to even want to change anything in here, to be honest. So a lot of the script will be using external files. And it's a huge advantage, not just to me, but also to you, because from your point of view, if I update the script and add new scoring features, those features can be used even on games that use an older version. You may need to load in a new model or a new texture for some of these new features, but that's about it. So in other words, your tables will instantly be updated with new features, new scoring, all sorts, new lighting effects, even new sound effects, whatever. So that's the biggest advantage to it. And also as well, it's just easier for me to be able to handle it. As you can see, yeah, you can see just crap loads of stuff here already. Okay, so I figure I would explain that, but also as well, I'm sure every once in a while people have looked at my script and going, what in the fuck are you doing there, Paul? And well, it's called logistics and being able to keep track of everything. It's also trying to name things in a certain way that people can understand. Just by looking at, especially me as the coder. So I'm going to just call up this script here. This is actually what I'm using to script FP now. It's a program called Notepad++. It's free, by the way. It has also, you can color code. I think you got bookmarks. You got a whole bunch of stuff that you can use. It's way better than say WordPad or a lot of so-called professional editors and stuff. Definitely way better than Future Pinball scripting editor. So you can see this is my vote that I am working on right now for the spinners, and I'm still haven't quite finished this yet, so there are going to be a couple mistakes, but I'll show you why I did this, and it's a great example of why I did things this way. First off, from you as a beginner, if you're using this thing, you now notice that we now have the ability to call the scoring code directly through the add scoring event. And this can be very, very handy, because this means you can switch on and switch off vote items and even change scoring. If you know how to code, you can just replace one line with another. So that's exactly what I've done. But from you as a user, all of this is about as much as you will see in a vote item from now on. And as you can tell, I've just given you the ability to score basic scoring for spinner. It's set to 1,000 if your light is on, 100 if your light is off. If you're blinking, I gave you 1,000 because it really doesn't blink. I'll give you the ability to score bonus. This is now stock and will be included. The score bonus, the ability to tell the script whether you want to score bonus or not, it will be through every single vote from now on. And this, of course, is Recock's code there. But this is basically it. This at the bottom is the trigger switch. If you set this to 0, your thing won't work. Your entire script becomes deactivated and you won't score. It won't work at all. There will be no lights or anything else like that. All right, it just allows you to deactivate the script. And it also, I use it to tell the script, to tell the engine that you're using this vote item and to use the code in it. That's what this does. Now, if you're beginning to notice that there seems to be a very, very common theme here, and we'll just go down a little bit more. And this is my all of my variables that I'm declaring and stuff. But if you notice, there seems to be a very, very common theme in here. Now, remember what I said. Even though the thing is just over 10,000 lines now, it could be a hell of a lot more. And as a developer, I'm sure you can understand, I need to be able to find things. I need to be able to look at my own script and be able to recognize something instantly just by looking at how I've written it. And I believe you're now seeing how I am doing it, but this goes way beyond what you just think. For instance, everything has this in it. Spinner 1, Phantom 1. Even things like my lights, let's call this up for you. Oh, that's right, I removed it. Ooh, dummy. I should have waited for that. But even my lights are called that. My variables, I got a little B here. That means variable, by the way, for my memory. As you can see right here, Spinner 1, Phantom 1. It's even now in my main subroutines. See this timer, there's my game reset code. So I think you're understanding why I'm doing it this way. Okay, at the moment, there's maybe 10 votes that will be done. I'll probably do some more before I actually release. But I can see that but I can see literally hundreds of different vote items down the road. So you got to be able to fix it. So I'll show you how I do it. Let's see if this works. Yes, it did. I did this offline. Okay, so spinner. I've got this set up in a specific way. So spinner is the name of the FP object, right? This is spinner. The 1 is the name of the group ID. Now I have 9 groups set up internally. You can have as many groups as you want. That is just the main group. So if I have 2 target banks, the target bank left and the target bank right, the left would be 1, the right would be group ID 2, right? The name of the file, well, that's Phantom. And I named it, I'm going to name the name of the table the section after the actual arcade games that it's based on. Now, they will be simplified, the rules a little bit, but they are basically the rules from that particular table, because I kind of figure that most people will know just by looking at it what the rules are and what it actually does. For instance, if you play Xenon, if you see like Target 1, Xenon 1, well, you know that's the target bank in Xenon. It's 2 times, it's 4 times, 25K, extra ball, special. I believe that's the rules for that. So you will know that just by looking at it. Okay? And then the child ID number, this is for multiple items within the group. For instance, using that target bank as an example, the very first target would be child ID 1. The second target would be child ID 2, and so on and stuff. And again, you can have up to 9, but you know, you can always I can always expand that if it actually becomes needed. On top of that, so just the other main reason that I did this is this makes things very, very, very simple to duplicate. So what we have here is just the first spinner code, but suppose you want to have a second spinner. You can either add it as this, or you can just duplicate this entire vault and just change one thing in the script and change one thing in the editor, and it can be done. I could probably duplicate this vault in about 45 minutes and have it completely working and functional within FPX because I wrote everything to be easy to change with a find and replace as possible. So let's see if we can find one. I haven't changed the rest of this code here, but I will be in a second. Okay, we'll just do it like this. Oh, it's up here. Okay, so originally the name was right. That was the original name until I decided just to call this Phantom because it's the Phantom spinner. All right, so we find next. And we replace. Or let's just replace all. So now it's all been changed. Now suppose I want to change spinner 1, phantom 1, I want to duplicate. Well, I can do it two ways. I can just hang on here a second. Paste. Oh, no, it's not doing it. So if I want to duplicate this fault, all I have to do is just tell it to find a name and just change one thing. And since I would like this to be a second one, all I'll do is go spinner 2, phantom 1, and it will change everything that's playing. It will change everything to spinner 2, phantom 1. I just put this script, the various bits of the script directly into the engine. I then just create a vault, and all my objects will be named spinner 1, phantom 1, or just change the spinner 1 to a spinner 2, and there you go, Bob's your uncle. All right, that's how. That's the reason why I have done things the way I've done. I have done them. So by looking at this, I know this is a variable, right? And then looking at this, the very last characters in this variable, it says be spinner 1, phantom 1 on. And I know that just by doing it that way, that means that this is the control file. This is the one that tells the script, if this is on, then you can execute this code. If this is anything but 0, then just completely and totally ignore it. In other words, it's completely deactivated. And it's the same with this. You see spinner 1, phantom 1, and this has that too as well. But my vault settings will all have a memory save feature. They will all have a memory load feature, and they will all be written exactly like this. So the name of the vault may change, but the way I've worked it out so that we can have things. So again, name of the vault, memory load, I know exactly what that is. This is a Recox code, which I have to completely and totally redo over because I screwed it up. Oh, I'm so annoyed at myself for that. I don't know. I don't know what the hell I did. But as you can see, I also have the main code here. This is, after this line, you're going to not see this in the script, or at least the script within the Future Pinball editor, because as I've said before, this is all code that goes into the engine and is used by the engine, and it will all be external files. I'm probably going to do textures and models and any other things also as library files in Future Pinball. All you need is just to add a new, you can just update it. You just overwrite the old file and it should work perfectly fine. Even if you have a table that uses an older version of FPX, it should update fine and you can actually use those new features. The most you have to do is to load in any new models or textures that are added, but every table should be able to work fine. So, that's a nice feature on that one. Yeah, so anyway, that's the reason why I'm doing things like that, just in case anybody ever wondered, even though nobody ever actually asked me about it or not. I'm sure some people have kind of wondered why it's like this. I just got criticism about stuff that I'm doing, anyway, I'm not going to go on about that one, but I just thought, you know what? It's because I like to make sure that I am as prepared as possible down the road. I figure the amount of time that I'm spending today is well worth it, considering the amount of time that I will probably save down the road. I still have high hopes that that I can get this to a point where it becomes really usable for a lot of people, and I want people to use it. I mean, I'm spending hundreds of hours so far, if not thousands of hours, just so people can use it. So it would be nice. And I'm just trying to, think, plan and stuff. the logistics and the planning with your coding, it actually can take just as much time as it is to actually write it. And it's sort of like with coding, you've got to kind of plan for every eventuality here and how people are using it, and what you figured they would want to see more than anything else, and trying to figure out a way so that it's as easy to use for as many people as possible. So I figured that this was a very good little video to explain the thought process, so you understand that it's, I know it's to people who don't know how to code it, stuff like this is a little bit intimidating, to say the least. Imagine how I feel. Yeah, but and this is not a lot of code, to be honest. This is what, 300 lines. This is one of the smallest of the vaults. So that pretty much tells you each vault's going to be at least on average 1,000 lines. Now, if I do 10, that's 10,000 lines of more code. So that pretty much tells you, right? Anyway, there's nothing really else I really can think about to talk about here. No, I really don't know. As the moment, it's on PhysX. It's on the AIO thing, but I was just looking at it and I realized that might be just a little bit too much for me, and it might not be worth it. So I think I may use the basic code and worry about stuff later on. I just want to, I think I just feel the need to get this thing going a little bit more. And I know I haven't been able to do much and stuff like that, but as you can see, it would be a shame to just let this just sit here and do nothing. So I'm trying to get at least something out. So far, so good. I'm okay with everything. And, we'll see what comes up with the next release. It will probably be 1.43 or 1.44. And I'm just going to update everything until I get it to the stage where I can declare it as 1.5. So the first one it will take a while. I am going to have to rearrange my own code. I'm going to try and reorganize it, try and make it simpler to use and everything else. Occasionally when you're writing so much code, you have to do these things just for your own sanity. I still have my hair. I haven't pulled it out yet. So, so far it's been a victory. In the meanwhile, I hope everybody has a great weekend. I hope the weather is certainly nice. We had that we had a lot of rain yesterday, but nowhere near as bad as those directly south of us. In case you're wondering, I'm in Abbotsford. I'm in Canada. I hope everybody's dried out and enjoying the sunshine that was today, and hopefully for the next little while. In the meanwhile, I think I'm just going to sign off. My name is Shiva. I'm working on the fpxEngine, and hopefully you'll be here for the next video whenever I decide to do it, and hopefully I've actually got some progress this time. But in the meanwhile, I'm just going to be signing off now. Bye.